Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green fields and flowing rivers, there lived a young man named Ethan. Ethan was kind and hardworking, but he always looked at life through a dark lens. If something went wrong, he blamed fate. If something went right, he said it wouldn't last. He often said, "Nothing good ever happens to me." Because of these thoughts, his days felt heavy and dull. Even the morning sun seemed dim, and even small problems felt too big. Ethan didn't realize it, but his mind had become his biggest enemy. One morning, while sitting outside his small house, he met an old traveler resting by the road. The old man looked peaceful, smiling at the sky as if he could see something beautiful in everything. Ethan asked curiously, "Sir, how can you be so happy? Don't you ever feel worried or sad?" The old man smiled and said, "I've learned the power of positive thinking. When your mind changes, your world changes too." Ethan frowned. "That sounds too simple. How can just thinking differently change my life?" The traveler chuckled and replied, "Come with me tomorrow morning. I'll show you something." The next day, they met at the edge of the village near a small garden. The old man handed Ethan 2 small bags of seeds. He said, "One bag has flower seeds, and the other has weed seeds. Plant them in 2 separate corners of your garden and water them every day for a week." Ethan did as he was told. Every morning he watered both spots, one with hope, one with doubt. After a week, he saw the first garden full of little green buds, bright and fresh. The other spot was full of thorny weeds, sharp and messy. The traveler came again and asked Ethan, "What do you see, Ethan?" He replied, "One garden is beautiful, the other is ugly. Why?" The old man smiled and said softly, "Because you planted different seeds. Your thoughts work the same way. When you plant positive thoughts, like hope, gratitude, and courage, your life blooms. When you plant negative ones, like fear, doubt, and anger, they grow into weeds that choke your happiness." Ethan stood silently. For the first time, he realized something powerful. His mind was also a garden. Every thought he had was a seed, and he had been watering the wrong ones for years. From that day on, Ethan began changing his thoughts. When he woke up, he said, "Today will be a good day." When he failed, he said, "I'll learn and try again." Slowly, his face began to glow with confidence. His heart grew lighter, and his life began to change. Not because the world changed, but because his way of seeing it did. Months later, Ethan saw the traveler again and said, gratefully, "Now I understand, sir. I can't control everything that happens, but I can always choose how to think about it." The old man smiled gently and said, "That is the true power of positive thinking. It doesn't make life perfect. It makes your mind strong enough to handle anything." As the sun set that evening, the sky turned golden. Ethan looked at his garden full of bright flowers and whispered to himself, "I was searching for happiness everywhere, but it was always inside me." If you liked this story, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a little positivity today. And don't forget to subscribe to Dream Motivation Tube for more inspiring stories like this one. Until next time, stay kind, stay hopeful, and keep your mind blooming with positive thoughts.